welcome to the Geriatric Millennials. This is Jayme.
And this is Beth.
And we are two oldish, youngish ladies talking about things we've just taken for granted over the years.
Quite a bit, actually.
The list could go on and on. It's a very broad range of, a topic.
Yeah, I like that you brought this up of thinking back to being younger and just like things that you just take for granted that you don't realize until you're older. And then the fact that literally 20 years from now, when we're still doing this podcast, we're going to look back in our 40s like, oh, we were taking that for granted for sure.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I will ask myself, I'm like, what are you doing right now in your life that your future self will wish you would have like either taken advantage of or not done or whatever? And I'm like, I don't know. She's going to be real pissed at me.
Well, one of the first things that came to my mind, and I know I've mentioned this before because we've had at length discussions about underwear, but one of the things, like the first things that came to mind was just like the firmness of my different parts of my body, specifically my butt.
Yeah, your tuchus.
Now, it's not like it was ever like rock hard or really firm, but it was definitely significantly firmer than it is now. And by firm, I mean, I still work out. I still have some muscle there. But like when you're younger and you put on a pair of underwear that has elastic, it's one thing. It's, you don't necessarily really think about it. You just take it for granted.
Yep.
Just take it for granted that you can just wear that underwear.
And it's not going to reshape your butt.
Exactly. Because now that is the case. And so I have to be careful what underwear I'm wearing because it will just, with that little tiny bit, doesn't take much, that little bit of elastic will reshape my butt and my stomach. Depending on where that elastic falls, there's a significant indent there. And I mean, I just took that for granted before. I just never, and I remember my sister talking to me about this because we at one point talked about underwear and I had recommended some underwear from like, I don't know, Aerie or something to her. And she's like, no, that doesn't work for me because it, the elastic cuts into my butt or whatever. And I was like, really? Doesn't do that to me. Like, okay. And she's older than me. And it just didn't click in my mind. It just wasn't a thing. And I just took it for granted.
Yeah. This honestly just happened to me the other day. I was wearing leggings, which I wear all the time now. And I was going to go to, Home Depot.
Right, because you discovered them as pants, not compression ones, just leggings.
Love them. And from the side, it was fine. And I think I have a cute little booty. I'm a booty connoisseur. I don't have a donkey booty. I'm definitely needing to working on that. But like in jeans and stuff, I feel like it's a cute little butt. It's like a little butt. It's, whatever. People wouldn't say it's a little, but it was a butt. It's a little butt. Wow. My underwears done did me so diddly wrong that like all of a sudden I was like having like more of a flat butt. I've never had a flat butt in my life.
How did that happen?
The underwear and the legging combo, like where the underwear was hitting me was like making my butt look weird. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been wearing leggings with these underwears, not realizing my butt was not looking cute. I mean, did I change out of the leggings? No, but I did pull my t-shirt down a little bit and put my purse more so it's covering my butt when I went to the grocery store. But I was just like, okay, we need to have legging undies now.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah. So anyway, it was just eye opening of like, oh, the pantaloons are definitely impacting the butt tops.
It's true. Things you just take for granted, specifically.
Yeah.
Underwear. Yeah.
Yeah. I really took for granted my untold amounts of energy. Like even in my like mid 30s, my energy levels were just way higher than they are now. Like prior to COVID, I mean, I used to have like 3 or 4 jobs. I was working 6 days a week, sometimes 7. I was putting in so many hours, staying up later than I needed to, waking up early, just running. And it was even worse when I was like in college and stuff because I went to school full time. I worked full time. I did stuff like crazy. And Lord help me now if I have one thing planned on a Saturday because it's like, oh, I'm going to have to really prep for that, or like mentally prepare. And I'm like, if I had to do the same like schedule I was doing like right before COVID in like 2018, 2019, I don't think I could do it now. Like, I really don't think I could keep up. And I still keep pretty active. Like I'm very busy at work and I do stuff around the house and yard and all, but I don't know if I could keep that same stamina. And I wish I would have not taken that for granted. Like I once built, I have a little online store. I built that online store out in 1 week after work. Like I would come home after work and I would work for hours and I built this beautiful website.
Wow.
Could I do that now? I can't even make an Instagram post, after work. One before I'm just like, that's too much to ask of me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think I took for granted so many things when I was a kid and obviously didn't have the adult responsibilities that, you just don't realize exist when you're a kid. And one of the biggest things is just somebody else cooking and taking care of my meals.
Yeah. I have that on my list of like dinner just being served.
Yeah, like it's dinner time.
Food just
and
in
I'm
the pantry.
Like, okay. I mean, I had to, do cleanup. I had to wash dishes and stuff, but I never had to cook. My mom never like made me or anything. She didn't like to bake, so she wanted me to do that. So I learned how to bake and I did do a lot of baking, which is not the same as cooking.
No.
Because you can bake any time of day or night. It doesn't matter because that's not your meal. That's just like a treat or whatever. And so it's not, and it's just occasional. It's not a day. It's not a constant multiple times a day type thing you have to think about. Anyways, I just took it for granted. I really did. I just didn't realize that was, going to be such a thing for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even remember so my brother and I didn't have chores, or at least I didn't. I don't think my brother did either. We didn't have to like do dishes or anything, like whatever. But I'm just having a flashback to being like 8 years old and a plate of food just being set on my lap and to eat it. You know what I mean? Like, where'd it come from? I don't know. Who made it? No clue. But it's here. And the fantasy of that being my existence right now, of just coming home, sitting down and a plate just appearing with something that's delicious and great, and then not having to clean up. Oh my gosh.
That's so amazing.
I really took for granted like my family members. And now it's like I kick myself sometimes because it's like visiting grandparents and stuff in the summer and stuff, and just not taking the time to like talk to them and like you're a kid, you just don't do that. But I would give so much to go back and like have that time to just really have conversations and learn about them and just spend time with them and not just be like, ugh, I have to go to grandpa's house or grandma's house today. Like, just be like, oh no, I get to hang out. And yeah, I really took family for granted. Yeah. I took my little brother for granted too. Like, he was so much younger than me, 6 years younger than me. And, by the time I got to be like a teenager, that's a pretty big gap. Yeah. From like a little kid to like somebody trying to be a cool teenager. And if anything, like I wish I could have those years back where I just would have enjoyed him being, my annoying little brother more. Yeah. Instead of just being like, ugh, get away from me, and like me hiding in my bedroom, just because like he was just such a fun kid, and it would just been nice to like have some more core memories with him with that, Yeah. But c'est la vie.
Yep. Okay. So whenever I get sick, I realize that I take for granted health so much.
Yeah.
Just living the majority of my life in good health. I'm so grateful. And so I'm like, well, am I really taking it for granted if I'm grateful? But I don't know. Most of the time I don't think about it, And it's like when you don't have something is when you really realize like, oh, I totally took it for granted. I didn't think about it. I just was just like that. I just had the benefit of that without whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I guess it's just like good health.
Are you talking about the bounce back of like, hey, you fall as a kid, you just get up. You fall as an adult.
I mean, that too. No, I was just thinking in general, just like having good health.
Yeah. But I'm just picturing you like if you were playing pickleball at 10, you don't got pickleball elbow.
Right.
And now you got the pickleball elbow.
For sure.
That's like such a bummer.
I know.
And it's like, we just take it for granted that like, oh yeah, we're just gonna be able to like, oh, if I just need to run over to the mailbox, I can just do that. I'm like, maybe right now, maybe not forever.
Right.
And it's just like, but when we were younger, we just did that crap.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I just think that one of the things that, at least for me, that I took for granted is the world is my oyster mentality. Like when you are young, anything is possible. And then it just takes a few little heartaches and, a little bit of time for, not for everyone, obviously, but just where you're like, oh no, the world is very much not fair. And like, it's much harder to like do things than you expected.
And there's suffering.
And all the things. Well, I have like, right now at work, we have all these like interns and things coming in and they're just so cute. They're undergrads. They're just they're just full of life and energy and like excitement for the most part about like what they're learning about, and they want to tell you about it, and they're trying new things, and they just, everything is a possibility right now. And I love that, because, you know, now for me, everything is not a possibility for sure. And it's like, I took it for granted that it was when I was younger. I'm like, I feel like I wasted my youth on some people and things that didn't deserve it. And now I'm like, wish I had that bandwidth back, because like but yeah, I just love that thing is when you're young and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to change the world.
Well, you know, the saying of you don't know what you have until it's gone. Yeah. Is that what the saying is? Something like that. That's how I feel about the Mid-Columbia Library membership.
Oh my gosh.
I knew. So I have already ranted about this multiple times, but I did take it for granted, because now that my limit is 8 to have 8 books on hold, I took that 30 plus or unlimited or whatever it was, 50 books on hold for granted, for sure. I didn't realize there was such restrictions at other libraries.
I just feel like this library thing, I just want to, I
haven't let it go. I mean, know you want to fix it.
I want to fix it, but I know it costs money to fix. And so, but I think maybe it's worth the $50 or whatever.
The
$100
probably is. But I could also just buy 10 books.
Yeah, but you could get
same price.
Yeah, but for you read more than 10 books in a year.
It's true.
And just for that same price, you could have unlimited.
I know.
It's hard.
I did take it for granted though. That's the whole point.
Sorry. Kind of in line with libraries, I just remember life being slower.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like summer was slower, the breaks, everything was slower.
Nothing is slow right now.
Nothing's slow right now. And I know part of that is our age and our brain, the way it works as you get older, you know, your brain does like, oh, I don't need to remember this stuff. So time actually like speeds up. It's like a literal thing that they've studied.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's like when you're a kid, it's like you're experiencing new stuff all the time. And so your brain's learning and growing and neurons are firing and connecting and stuff. But as you get older, it's like when you drive to work and you're like, how did I get here? I don't remember driving, but so your brain's like, well, we didn't remember that. Like in the moment, yeah, we're paying attention not to get dead. But like as soon as we're here, we don't need to remember that. Clean it out. And so that's why like life feels like it shortens as you get older, it goes faster. But it did feel slower too, just with like technology and just like it just felt slower.
Yeah,
like the pace of life was just slower. Even like I go back to this like sports seasons felt slower because you had like baseball season, pause. Then you went into like the football season, pause. Then you went into there was like these little pauses. Yeah. So much so that I remember growing up and like my dad, because there was no games on ESPN, we would be watching alternative sports. Like, we're watching cricket today because, you know, nothing else is playing, or, okay, this is our season to watch, you know, curling because basketball's not on yet, or whatever it was, you know, and it's just like, yeah, there's just, everything is just mushed together and go. And I think it goes back to too, like, you know, we often talk about in the summer where it's like, oh my gosh, they already have the back to school stuff out and it's next to Halloween, you know, just everything's accelerated and it's just like, oh my gosh, let us have breathing space. And
come on, slow down already, America.
Yeah. Just that slowdown would be nice to have again, of just like, oh, it's just slower.
Yeah, for sure. So I definitely took for granted having healthy toenails.
Okay.
For a long time. I know that sounds weird.
So specific. Yes,
it is. But I think, did I even tell you about this? This was traumatic to me. I ended up with toenail fungus in both of my big toes, but it was like really weird. And it was, my toenails were so messed up. They were so messed up. The look on your face is
I'm just shocked.
Okay, so I didn't tell you this.
No.
They were so messed up and so I was like losing them, but in a weird way. And so part of them were attached and the other part wasn't. It was really bad. So I just wore Band-Aids over my big toes for quite some time. I went on medication, did nothing.
Oh my gosh.
I got over-the-counter stuff, did nothing. I eventually made my own concoction of a remedy that eventually worked, but I had to put it on morning and night for 2 full years.
Oh my gosh.
And now my toenails are healthy and back to normal. But there was a period of time where I was crying thinking that they were never going to be normal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is somewhat recent. I can't believe we didn't talk about this. It was probably too traumatic for me at the time.
You did not talk about it at all.
This was just like, I mean, so they've been normal now for probably like a year. So it was like within the podcast years.
Yeah.
Within the podcast years.
You must have really had it bad because you didn't talk about it.
I took for granted just having just a regular old toenail that you never have to think about. You can just paint, you can clip, and that's it. I am back to that now, and I am so grateful. And I never want to take my toenails for granted. And I'm also not ever going to go and get a pedicure again. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're hit or miss. And I'm at the point now where I only do pedicures to myself because I'm so afraid of like,
not worth it.
Not worth it because
years of my life dealing with this.
Yeah. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Well, it's all good now.
That's good. I really took for granted playing. Like I am not a playful person. We've talked about this. I'm just not playful necessarily. But even as a kid, like I wish I would have played more, but I was like a little hustler. Like when I was 8, I was out slinging door-to-door salesman style wrapping paper for the Olympic Sales Club, which is a little like multi-level marketing club for kids to sell wrapping paper and greeting cards to your neighbors to win prizes. And I did that in the summers. And then I started babysitting when I was 10, like for other neighbors. They would leave for the night. Me and their 3 children.
10 is young.
10 is illegal at this point, I think. I don't think you can legally do that now. But at the time, it was the 80s. Nobody cares, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was staying home and I would like babysit kids on the weekends. And I felt like I did it a lot. And I became like the neighborhood babysitter. And then it just kept going. And then I did that all through the time that like I was, in middle school and whatnot. And then by the time I was able to work at 15 and a half, I got a job. And then I had a job from the time I was 15 and a half, like a legitimate, I worked at the YMCA taking care of kids. And I had jobs every summer. I always had a job. Throughout schooling, I always had a job. And that didn't stop. It still hasn't stopped. I think
you still have a job.
I still have a job. I think I was looking at, I think I might have had total combined. And this, I mean, even at college, I usually had a job. There's a couple seasons in college I didn't have a job, but I was in college, so I don't really count that. But as like not in school and grown up, since I was 15 and a half, actually, before that, like not having a job, probably like 6 to 8 months total. In my life.
In your whole life. Yeah, that's not very much.
That's not very much. And I'm like, I didn't play enough. And I took it for granted, like not having a job and just like enjoying high school, enjoying middle school, enjoying college when I didn't necessarily have to have a job, but I just felt like I had to have a job. And it's a privilege not to have to work, and that's not for everyone. And honestly, like most of the time I had to have a job because I had to help pay for my stuff, but it's just like, oh, it would have been nice just to maybe have one summer off just to like totally
veg or play.
Yeah, just play and be a kid and not think about like a paycheck.
Yeah.
That's fine though.
Yeah.
This is good too. I got only like 25 more years and then I can retire.
Oh. So I think now that you're a homeowner, I think you're going to get my next one or two. Because I just took for granted working grout.
Oh gosh.
In a shower. Just that I took for granted that I made an assumption that shower was waterproof or sealed, or like you could get wet in there. You could run water and it would work the way it's supposed to work and just go down the drain. Yeah. And that I just took it for granted because somewhere along the line that stopped happening. And there was some failed grout in the picture, and water got out into places it shouldn't have in my home. Awful. And I didn't know until it was a bigger problem. And I think it happened pretty quickly. I mean, it was like a sudden thing, but I just took for granted that that wouldn't happen. Like I just didn't know that something like a crack so small could lead to so much damage.
Like legit devastation.
So I had this flood in my house, and so we've had to, deal with it and remodel an entire bathroom and a ceiling/floor due to water damage. And I just took for granted that grout would, seal the deal, where it close off the water. And who knew that a crack in that I just didn't know. And how was I going to find that crack? Like, I don't even use that shower.
Yeah.
So anyway, I am on a mission to make sure that all the grout in my home is very up to date and doing its job properly. But yeah, I just took for granted that just, things. And another water related thing is sprinklers working.
Oh yeah.
First of all, just working. Second of all, like not breaking and leaking into your house.
Yeah.
I just took it for granted.
Yeah. I'm very sorry, Jayme.
When you have, it's just, I just take things for granted when they work like they're supposed to. Because I don't think about them not working and breaking and then having to deal with that. And that happens kind of regularly. Like we had to get a new dishwasher because like that broke. And then we had to get a new like appliances eventually wear out and break down, whatever. It's never a good time, but it's part of life.
Yeah.
But other things like in a home will do that. And it's just like such a bummer. It's like, why don't these things just last forever? As long as I live here, why don't they just work? Why do things wear out?
I mean, I get why, but it's very annoying.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like, again, things wear out sooner than they used to, for sure.
I think that's true.
100%. 100%. Like,
lower quality.
Very much. I mean, my grandparents had the same toaster for 50 years.
Right.
And I've gone through 3. Yeah. And I'm not even a high toast user. Consumerism and all that crap and corporate greed. But, say lovey. Anyway.
So I have one that I don't feel like I've necessarily really taken it for granted, but I appreciate it so much. And that is Beth's amazing editing skills.
Oh.
For this podcast. For real.
Yeah.
Like you do all the work. You really do. And I appreciate it. You do a really good job. So
thank you.
So thank you. And I mean, I don't want to take it for granted, but I know that like if you stop doing it, I would not be able to do what you do.
I think it's so funny because like, I learned how to, like when we started the podcast, there was not the same like AI tools there are now and the same kind of editing tools where you can just like feed in your stuff and like look at words and delete the words and it kind of edits it and like does all the sound stuff for you. It's like I had to learn how to sound engineer through Adobe. And so we use Adobe Audition for what we do and we have like a soundboard and we record on, fancy mics and stuff. And
all thanks to Beth, just saying.
But it was like, it was so funny because like when we first started the podcast, most of our episodes were between like 20 to 30 minutes long. And it would take me like 3 times the length of the episode of the podcast to edit it.
Oh, for sure.
It was wild. And just trying to learn how to like do the different things that you have to do to like make the sound levels sound okay. And, some of the stuff of like just splicing and editing and making things tighter and whatever. It was like such a process. I'll never forget. It was like a Saturday. And this was like years ago. This was in the first like year of our podcast. And we had just transitioned from using one mic that was the wrong kind of mic to use because it recorded both of our voices on the same track. So then you can't edit easily. And it was super annoying because you couldn't edit gasps and sounds and all the weird things that we do and all of our ums and likes and whatever. Yeah. And we had just moved to like having ours, on separate tracks and separate mics, and it was great. And it wasn't even a long episode. The episode was probably like a 30-minute long episode, and it took me like 6 hours to edit.
Goodness gracious.
Like it just
so much of your time.
It was so much of my time. I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. It was just this huge learning curve. And I was just like,
that's really frustrating in the beginning too.
And I took it for granted that I would just be able to like pick something up. But I mean, it was those kind of nights or those kind of days when I was editing like that, where it was like, well, this is where I learned it all. And now it's nice because like, I should be editing like, ahead of time, but a lot of times I'm editing on Monday nights, and it's like, it basically takes me about, if it's a 20-minute episode, it takes me like, about 27 minutes to edit at this point. And it's cool too, because I can literally look at our tracks and I can see like, oh, Jayme said, there. And I said like there, and I can just edit like visually now a little bit. So it's been really fun, but
I'm glad it's been fun for you. I'm so grateful that you do all of that. Like like I said, you do a really good job, and I'm grateful. And I just take it for granted because I just show up and we record and then I leave.
I know. It's funny too, because when we first started, I used to always send you the episodes ahead of time so you could like review them and like give your okay. And now I'm like, no, they just get posted. Yes. And what was crazy too is like when we first recorded them and, you know, the first like almost year that we were doing the podcast, I would edit the podcast and then I would listen to it back fully. Now I don't even do that. So it's just like, if there's ever a mistake, just know Beth got sloppy. But typically it's just like, I just do it and I listen to it as I'm editing and then I'm like, we're good to go. Because I can't. But it drives me nuts now because when I do listen to other podcasts that are clearly not edited, I'm like, why didn't they make an edit there? Why didn't they cut that pause out? Why didn't they do this? Like, why? And I'm just like, oh, stop. But anyway, okay, I do have one more thing, but this is such a basic take on, you know, for taking something for granted. And that really is gas.
Oh gosh.
I was filling up the other day and it was over $5 a gallon here. And I, first of all, I remember when it was like, it got over $1 for the first time and I felt like that was so much. And I was recalling just a few, I don't know, it was like last year, it was like 3 something. I was like, oh, this is getting high. And now that it's over $5, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I just wish I would have, I literally was driving the other day and I sometimes like, because I'm new to this neighborhood that I'm living in, I like to just drive down different streets to just like get the feel. I'm like, oh, I should drive down that street because I was running a quick errand. I'm like, absolutely not. Not with the state of the current gas prices. We are going to our destination and come back. There's no detours right now. We're not taking a little fun 5-minute detour to burn gas. And I was just like, well, that just makes me sad.
Well, I hear you. And now we just added another vehicle to our household because we have teen drivers. Oh my gosh, Beth.
So expensive. First of all, insurance. Secondly, gas.
Yes.
Because they go.
It's a lot.
Everything's a lot. But you know, I'm just hopeful that we don't take our current existence for granted.
For sure.
And that we are mindful of the things that like our future selves would want us to be doing now to ensure the brightest, happiest future for ourselves.
I know one day I'm going to look back at this time and I'm going to be like, wow, I really took for granted my neck. You know, my neck didn't look like a turkey or, you know, my jowls or, you know, just different parts of my body. Like I was talking about like the firmness of my butt. Well, I mean, there's a lot that's going to change. And continue to change. And I'm gonna look back on these days with great fondness for, you know, what I'm taking for granted currently. I guess that's the way it goes.
If you're enjoying the podcast and would like to support the show, you can share episodes with your friends and family, follow us on Instagram at the Geriatric Millennials, or leave us a positive review and rating, all which help us to grow. Our theme music was created by the Finley Ghost. Check out their latest album now. Thank you so much.